Morning. This is Reverend Pam Geagan from the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California, and welcome to our morning meditation. And we are looking at wholeness and wholehearted livingness, living from the heart, the authentic self during this series. And so today we're looking at shame. We're looking at what keeps us from that wholehearted living and that wholehearted knowing that God is, I am, and that there are no barriers between the good that is available. It is absolutely available to all on this planet. And so we're going to begin just by relaxing in, connecting and relaxing in. So we're going to take those energy wands, feel them coming right up through the crown of your chakra, and then see that chakra opening up and then going down into the third eye, just relaxing, and then down into the cheeks, relaxing the jaw, just relaxing in. And by the way, during these meditations, I hold you in my heart. If there are prayers that need to be answered, I'm already seeing them answered to the highest and best, to the spirit within you and the spirit that lies in and through and all around you. So as we go within, holding the high watch, knowing that as we go through and relax, we see a world around us relaxing in as it goes up higher and higher and it's opening. So relaxing the throat, feeling that energy go down across the shoulders, down, relaxing the shoulders, going down from the neck, vertebrae by vertebrae, just relaxing in. And then coming right back down the arms, the upper arms, the lower arms, the elbows. Feel that energy coming right out your fingertips. In this circle of energy, in this eternal circle of beingness, immortality, immutable soul, expressing in its authentic self, opening up to that self. And so now going back, feeling that energy coming back up the arms, back all the way up the shoulders, back down the back, vertebrae by vertebrae, just relaxing in your chair, coming around into the heart chakra and opening that heart chakra. And I always say it's like the lotus opening up in the heart. And that lotus is now opening up as we open up to it. And again, a deity can be in there. A deity can be in there, or just a beautiful scene of something. For me, sometimes a guide shows up, an angel shows up, Jesus shows up, Buddha shows up, knowing that they are there to assist us, even though you cannot see them. They are around us, friends that have gone to the other side, parents, loved ones that have gone to the other side. Interestingly, my sister just showed up. So in that lotus, in that opening, just listen deeply if there's any message for you, but listen deeply if there's a message or a releasing of anything. Go with it. And during this meditation, if something strikes you and you want to just sob, sob. If you want to just laugh, laugh. Anyway, as we go down, that energy going down the back again, around to the solar plexus, relaxing the solar plexus, going down below the belly button, relaxing the sacral chakra and then the root chakra, going down, 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 around the hips, down the thighs, down the knees, down the calves, down the ankles, down the feet, and that energy going from the feet all the way to the middle earth. And in this time of rapid change, I'll tell you a story in just a moment. So take that energy and as it anchors in the middle earth, come right back up, coming up the feet, the ankles, the knees, the calves, the thighs, coming all the way up and shooting right out our crown chakra as we connect to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, to the high, to the low, to the up, to the down, to the left, to the right of us, to the front, to the back of us. We are surrounded and immersed in this loving, energetic power. There is that power for good that surrounds us and is in us. And we can use it to our highest ability to raise our vibration and the vibration lovingly on this planet. So now just breathe in all this energy all around us. And I always use God to connect to Source. And God is synonymous with love for me. So on the in-breath, God is. And on the out-breath, I am. And two more silently. And so I want to tell you, I heard a news story this morning that shows me the adaptability of our children. And in this news story, which was really interesting, it was just the adaptability of children in this. I think, how are they going to adapt? They are being raised in a whole different, they're calling it the COVID generation because they're going to be so different from the other kids that were raised like we were raised, where we had freedom to go everywhere and do anything we wanted to, more or less in the outside world. So a woman who is a nurse in the emergency room comes home at night and her little 4-year-old says, Mommy, how are you? And she says, and she can't touch her. She has to shower first. And her daughter knows that to keep her daughter safe. And she has to get rid of her clothes, outside in the garage. And so the little girl says, Mommy, how are you? She says, fine. And she says, the little girl says, did you have any COVID patients today? And she said, yes, honey, sadly I did. And the little girl said, okay, Mommy, after you shower, we'll have cuddle time and I'll cuddle with you. And I thought that awareness from out of the mouths of babes as we are just like plastic, we're just like we are so malleable, and yet we don't realize that. But when we come into this new birth of seeing in that pureness out of that reality from children, it makes it all okay. We know that they're going to be okay, so to speak. So I am talking about shame today, and it is one of the biggest blocks that keeps us stuck in not beyond, what we're supposed to be. And so one of the things I know for sure is the American nation is the most obese, medicated, and addicted peoples in the world. And we're also the most in debt ever. The Americans have never been more in debt in their lives. And it isn't because we didn't know how to make good choices. We have all the information at our fingertips and all the science that substantiates that information. So what causes this? Why do we fill our lives with trying to look better to the outside world and cram our days with busyness and anxiety hits us at a peak level every day, and healthy eating habits go down the drain? And like you and probably all of this nation, I grew up with every diet tip there ever was. I know how to eat healthy. I know how much fat, carbohydrates, carbs, and everything else I'm eating. And yet, on those days when I am filled with anxiety with what I'm doing wrong, like others turn to other things, some turns to alcohol, some turns to drug, I turn to sugar. And so I know what I'm doing is wrong and I know it's not right, but I immediately crave that high that the sugar gives me, so to speak. So I inhale every carb, fat, sugar filled that I filled with filled food that I can grab in a moment to suppress the rising, exhausting anxiety that's like a volcano ready to explode within me and within all. Because we have to continue, going to our workplaces, working from home, trying to juggle families, and all of the responsibilities of an economy that is challenged as well. And so my underlying message is when you failed, once again, that you always feel the minute you do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not attached enough to the divine spirit within me, and that is not true. And I can't love myself is the best one because I'm not rich enough, thin enough, smart enough, talented enough, happy enough, creative enough, connected enough, productive, strong, disciplined, compassionate, yada, yada, yada. As I say, the list could go on and on and on. And none of that is true. The divine spirit within you loves you so amazingly and is constantly on this eternal path of becoming, allowing you to open up to it and to release all of the things that keep you from that connection with that, with the only thing that there is. God is I am. Divine spirit is I am. And so we forget that and we keep holding in our secrets. And so when you find out that you're so afraid someone's going to find out your greatest secret, you don't want to, you don't want that to happen. I pretend everything's all right, and I am taking care of others more than myself when that happens. I'm aware that who I am is not the authentic self that makes me feel worthy. So, what makes me think, you think, we all think that our writing, our thoughts, our creativity, our ideas are worthy to put out into the world. And so, shame permeates every cell in our beingness and makes us feel flawed and not good enough. And once you allow yourself to be aware of how shame keeps us, you playing small, then moving through it, recognizing it, sharing your story about it helps to become in touch with your authentic self of who you came to be and what is your truth. And it is essential to embracing and creating this authentic life and authentic relationships. So, the most important things you need to know about shame is that we all have it. We came here on this planet to recognize and discover um, that we are the heart of the world, the heart of the universe and the universes, that the heart of who we are is that divine spirit. And if we don't have it, you don't think you have it, good luck. You have it. You don't have the capacity for compassion if it is overwhelming, and empathy and human connection leaves us feeling vapid and empty. So sometimes we're afraid to talk about what we believe, and talking about it will help us open up to it, to an experience. And one of the awakenings I had was when I was in my 20s, and I was married before to a high school sweetheart. And he said something about one of my behaviors, which I'm not going to share, that was made me feel so ashamed. And I carried that with me for the longest time. And then I thought, well, I was a child really in so many ways, and I didn't know what to do to step up and release that shame. So I just stuffed it and stuffed it and stuffed it. And so the more I hid my fear in the dark and didn't talk about my shame, the more it controlled my life in some ways. So basically, what I did was when I met my beloved Patrick, one of the first things I did after we became close is I shared what this opinion of me was about this shameful thing. And he looked at me like, what's the big deal? Everyone does that and everybody's like that. And I was stunned. I had carried this shame with me for like 10 years and didn't even know that it was acceptable because I allowed something other than the divine spirit to shine its light in and through and as me, and it darkened my light for all those years. So we know that shame, the more we control it, the more it controls us. So shame is basically the fear that we are unlovable. It is it in a complete antithesis of owning our own story and bringing our story uh, into that shame into all of our lives. And what we need to do is bring that darkness of the shame of whatever it is that controls you, and we all know what that is, probably most of us do, into the light and deepen our feeling of worthiness and affirming that we truly are lovable, likable, and we belong. We belong here. We were meant to be here. If you're here, I say you have some of the strongest spiritual muscles. This is not an easy planet. It is the planet of learning how to um, live and be and to open your heart and get closer to source. So if you signed up, and my understanding is that there are beings, there are souls all around. I mean, millions of them trying to incarnate into this beautiful planet so that they can go on the fast track to going back home, back to source. So if you're here, then you have signed up for a greater healing and you are more courageous in your experiences than shame could ever um, take away from you. So shame happens between people and it also heals between people. So the greatest gift that you can have is if you can find someone to trust to share your story with. Because once you share that story, like I did with Patrick, it loses its power once it is spoken. And especially when someone says, "Really? I don't get it." And here you've carried this all of your life, so to speak, or for a long time. So releasing the shame by becoming aware of what messages and expectations trigger our feeling of not feeling worthy enough are very important. And then once you know what they are, you reach out and tell your story to someone you trust that will love you unconditionally, and you don't even have to have feedback. Just listening to those words come out help. And then as we embrace and address our shameful feelings, as I did, I went, "Oh, okay." And then be fully aware and open up and become vulnerable when sharing your story. That is when the magic and the healing begins. And then talk about how you're feeling and tell that person or persons what you need from them as you're sharing your story. Maybe just your support, because there is a difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is when we feel guilty, we've done something bad, we feel. That a behavior you've labeled is bad. So something you're doing, like when we go off our diets or something, you've labeled that bad. But it's not harmful to anyone else but yourself. But when you feel shame, you believe you are bad down to the soul level. And you're not. You're not. You've just recognized that you have a behavior that is coming up that you can shine the light on and allow it to reveal itself in and through your life. So when you feel shame, you are not bad. Look at it, bring it out to the light, for you are fortunate enough to have at least one or two people who love you once you share that story, to love you unconditionally and tell them your deepest fears and share the secret of your shame. It changes everything. It embraces you and your deepest vulnerability, for you are extremely lucky and blessed if that is a gift that has been given to you. And if you are afraid to share it with parents, siblings, friends, go to a minister, share that with them. Go to a counselor, see what that is, bring it to the light because it is so important in the healing process. We don't need everyone to love us, but our authenticity, the greatest gift, is to develop and bring relationships based on the love that we are and the belonging that we crave and the knowing that I am worthy to the light. We are all worthy. So as I stay in the I am, I'm going to end now with affirmations. So in the quiet, I just relax in. As I stay in the I am, please personalize these words, knowing that the greatest thing about you is your beingness. And the divine spirit reflecting in and through and as you is so great. You can call it Elohim, Buddha, Jesus Christ, the thing itself, love, whatever it is, being open and vulnerable and listening to what your greatest gifts are, not spending time in shame and guilt with what you are not, but knowing that you are enough is the most important. So I am now going to do these affirmations. I am more than enough. I bring my gifts to this planet, and the planet is lighter because of them when I share them from that place of authenticity and love. I am worthy. I am developing relationships based in love, belonging, and knowing that God is, I am, and I am that I am. And that's the way I am. I am loved beyond measure. I am the beloved whom God is so well pleased. And I know that because I exist. I am here, coming back on that road, that eternal path of becoming. And I know that I'm going to get there no matter what. But I choose to explore the most important thing of why I'm on this planet, who I am, and what gifts I've come to bring. I am now led to know the greatest way I may embrace my vulnerabilities as I courageously speak my truth to power, the power that resides in me, through me, all around me. And I call today good and very good as I recognize that behaviors don't need to be filled with guilt and shame. They're just behaviors, and they don't corrupt my soul. My soul is incorruptible, immutable, eternal, and I open up to know what I am doing, and I reach out and take chances on doing that. And so it is. So as I leave you today, know that you're in my thoughts, my prayers, and I love each and every one of you. Namaste, peace out. See you tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Mwah.